Israel has carried a series of airstrikes into Syria overnight. They're the most intense aerial campaign into Syria in years, but also particularly after the fall of the government of Bashar al-Assad. The attacks also came with territorial push of Israeli troops into a buffer zone between Syria and Israel. Israel says the move is to protect its territory from the spillover of the chaos in Syria, but also says it's trying to prevent the insurgents in Syria from laying their hands on the military facilities and weapons in Syria. Arab countries, neighbors of Syria, have condemned the move, saying that it's an exploitation of the disarray in Syria, but also a violation of international law. The condemnation comes because there is a precedent. Israel has in previous Mideast wars taken Arab land and they have not returned since. So there is a concern from Arab countries for that. There is also a Turkish condemnation of the Israeli moves. Turkey is one of the main backers of the Syrian opposition that have managed to oust Bashar al-Assad in a historic shock offensive that lasted only 11 days. Turkey says it didn't condone the toppling of Assad regime, but such an offensive could not have taken place without Turkey's green light. Turkey has more than one interest in Syria, not just the backing of the opposition, but it is concerned about the Kurds that have taken a slice of the territory in northern Syria and now are administrating as independent territory. Turkey and the Kurds have a history of dispute over territorial and independence, and Turkey does not want to see a growing Kurdish presence in the north of Syria. The scene is even more complicated, and the toppling of the Bashar al-Assad has only laid bare how complicated the terrain in Syria has been even before that fall. There's also the US. The US has a limited troop presence in Syria. They also back the Kurds in their fight against the Islamic State fighters, a fight that has been going on since 2015, and they still have bases in the northeast and the south of Syria. All these international presence and players that have an interest in Syria are only going to make the few coming days much more complicated for the new Syria after Bashar al-Assad.